Oh boy, the Zerg music is playing. You know what that means? It's more HitEmUp Z v TopRamen T. Let's see what happens on Germination. Oh no, TopRamen has become jet black again. Oh, it's just regular black. And he is in the bottom right. Meanwhile, HitEmUp is our... Ooh, is this pumpkin? I don't think it's pumpkin. I think it's electric orange. Oh, damn. It was pumpkin. Oh, well, I guessed both of the colors wrong, so I will... I have brought very much shame to my family, and I will atone for my sins by 100% color guessing the next match and or video. I'm glad that HitEmUp has decided that his skill issue is enough to make it so that Terran is underpowered. It's funny because HitEmUp is a higher level, generally speaking, when it comes to the macro than pretty much anybody else on the server, I would say. And so I recognize that when he struggles in a matchup, it's swift to say that, oh, it's underpowered. That would be more compelling evidence for me compared to if he's owning everybody else when it comes to, you know, them versus Terran, his whatever versus Terran. I don't know, that's less of a compelling reason to change something, because he's just the best player. Even though Aeon, of course, did win. The best player in terms of practice games or general stuff compared to the best player in tournament play, that's always going to be a little bit different. There's room for that to be different anyway. So yeah, I think there's some interesting things that we can take a look here at. One of the things that you could see HitEmUp and Ramen are having discussions about certain styles of play that Terran might be able to use. One of the things that I think is really useful to think about is what are the strengths of Terran, even in Cosmonarchy right now, that are so plainly obvious, right? And by the way, this is a pool opening from HitEmUp, so he's not going the Hydrothen stuff that he's normally done. It will be 2 Folk Vault again for Ramen. But I think that I like overall the concept of Terran being this very defensive race, this race that has area control capabilities that just outshines what the other races have access to. And what you're seeing HitEmUp discuss is the idea of maybe using the fact that anchors can lift and move, and the fact that watchdogs can do the same, and that your static defense is just a cut above the other static defense options for the other races, at the very least in the early game. Now, with Vultures coming out here versus the pool units, it does feel to me like there's a potential for the Vultures to get a little bit more value than they did previously. However, it doesn't look like TopRamen microed his heart out there. Definitely got stuck on the ramp. Nice couple of fadeaway shots, though, to kill a few quas. There's more coming, though. And the Vultures are, well, let's just say the reinforcements are on the way, but they have not yet arrived. It is going to be triple Folk here, because he scouts the pool. So it looks like TopRamen has a different idea of what to do against this kind of opening. He's going to go ahead and, once again, try to argue forward here with his Vaults. Just getting a quas revealed, you know, and then seeing if he can maybe take pot shots at it. Unfortunately, did not end up making the cut there. It's, yeah, 3 Folk Vault. Okay, so we are going to see quite a few Vultures come out here. It's funny, because if you don't follow StarCraft 1 that much and you got recommended this, you might be like, why do you just cut off like one syllable of every unit, like Folk instead of Fulcrum, and Vault instead of Vulture? But that's just how it's always been. It used to be Fact instead of Factory, back when it was called that. Interesting. He uses the forward mines to lay cover so that he can get the other mines down. That's not bad. Now, there's going to be a lot of static defense being put up here by HitEmUp. I say a lot. He's actually only getting 1 extra K-Grunt for the static defense, so there is that. But this Vulture-based containment could lay the groundwork for HitEmUp's demise. Let's see, the Vaults try to push through as the Circuit is mutating. Oh, good move with his quas to try to pop that poor Vault before he can actually make things happen. Now, at the same time, it looks like this will be enough. No, he could have just killed it. There we go. Okay, he's going to fall back as the Zets start to morph in. There was an opportunity there. If that stun doesn't hit his own units, that would have been really big. Now, 3 more Vultures coming out. I don't know if HitEmUp can withstand this. He doesn't have any gas, so he's not really going to be able to do too much here versus the ground army. Now, the Circuit does finish, which is pretty big. And the mine even stuns that other one. So meanwhile, we've got mines laid in the main. Worker damage is being dealt. Ramen does have a worker lead. and had one before this attack even hit anyway. So definitely been doing good to keep the pressure on. He's making more vultures back at home. He's rallying more of them out in general. Nice stun there on one of the Zets, but it's going to allow the Quas to step forward and clean house. Meanwhile, do these vultures decide to move up the ramp? It does look like they will, and they will clear that circuit as well. If they can just move past each other, that would definitely help out. But the pool units are quite numerous, and the mines were not relayed at the foot of the ramp, so this is not going to give much cover to what TopRamen is able to do. If only that one Quas didn't stun all of those vaults at the foot of the ramp, that would have been such a different situation. But now we are going to see the pool units seemingly break out of the contain, and the circuit is reestablished with full health. It's going to be a lot harder for the vultures alone to break that. And this is the situation where you're like, damn, if only I had a ministry on the way. So you can see the wax and wane there. But man, again, just like that first game in the previous set that we cast between these two on Apollo, we look back at that map. By the way, Germination, another BDB map. The way that this is all going out, to me, just tells me that this is easily a situation where a little bit of micro goes a little bit differently, and that completely changes the game. If he's not on top of his mines when with 4 vultures there, he just breaks him completely. Now he's caught slipping a little bit when it comes to that. He is going to end up getting his minefield cleared secondarily after denying the expansion just once. Worker now coming back out. Can't quite move it. This reminds me of TVP in Starcraft 1, where the Terran wants to throw vultures into snipe scribes, or probes as they're called in that game, before they can put down the extra bases and whatnot. He's managing the Vorv count very nicely, though. There's only, what, 3 Vorvs left, it looks like? Oh, there's a 4th one coming back. So, yeah, it looks like, yeah, we're up to about 4. Okay, so there's still some life left in Ramen. He's got Cyclops coming, but they are a little bit of a ways off, and he hasn't laid any mines, so gotta be careful now. Definitely needs to fall back there, so let the mines do some of the work. Unfortunately, one of his vultures got caught in the crossfire there. Still, good hits here are going to slow things down. The Cyclops now raining in from up on high. The vultures are going to lay some more mines. It feels like maybe the vultures didn't lay their mines fast enough as the Zets get on top of everything, and it looks like that might be Jeej. I don't see a way back in for Ramen to face off against all of these units. He did go for triple ministry at the end of the day, so maybe he can still do something here, but obviously HitEmUp has been drolling behind this. He did send in a token set of extra Zets, which might finish the job. It doesn't look like they're necessary. That will be another game for HitEmUp, but that was really close. I think that there's a lot of value still there for the mech plays to punish Zerg and try to get some more value there. I think there is some more potential. All right, let's get into the next game to see whether HitEmUp gets got or if he just continues undefeated despite all how tight these games are. Continuing the BDB-isms, we are on Impulsion. This is 4 BDB maps in a row for this series. And this is a map that's based on Impetus, but it is an Ashworld map. So shout out to BDB for using all of that. We've got an Emerald Zerg player. That's HitEmUp. No, it's Mint. God damn it. And we've got TopRamen as the, I guess this is Platinum again. We'll say Platinum Terran. Oh, but it was Silver. Damn, I've really brought dishonor upon my family. I can't guess colors for shit today. I don't know what's going on. Even though, spoiler, I recorded all of these games at the same time. So, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. We have pulled back the mirror a little bit. Pulled back the curtain, rather. Withhold the mirror. Withhold the mirror. Shout out if you get that reference. All right. So what we're seeing from these games is definitely quite a bit of aggro, quite a bit of power from TopRamen. It's just not quite enough to break down HitEmUp's door and put the fear of God in him. Maybe that's an interesting thing. TopRamen is struggling in the context of finishing HitEmUp off in these early game scenarios. But imagine if the pressure was just a little bit higher and this was like a live tournament game. Imagine what would have happened there, right? Imagine what could have been different in that situation. I just feel like there might be something there that you can do. It's going to be 2 folk once again for Ramen. He's not going into the stockade. He wants the pressure of the vultures. I wonder if you... Obviously, you don't know what the opening structure is. Is it Hydrith or is it Pool? And I guess rarely it can also be Shroud, although at that situation, you're probably able to hold it after you scout. I do wonder, it looks like TopRamen is withholding the scout, though. He's just going to scout with the vulture, which also is fine. If you're going for this, it's just going to be something that hits later, but you'll be able to get maybe 1 or 2 workers. Now, I'm saying all of this. Oh, we have a Circuith coming. That's interesting. He's preemptively going Circuith just to stop the vultures from hitting him so he can macro in peace, it looks like. Now, one of the things that I like about the option that HitEmUp has gone for here is that it does mean that TopRamen has to quickly reconfigure what he's doing. Is he going to go for, you know, an extra fulcrum? It looks like he's already adding the third fulcrum before even scouting his opponent. He's kind of downloaded him in that respect and kind of knows what he's doing. But the Circuit automatically changes things up, right? Stunning the eggs. Okay, delaying it. I like it. I don't know if you can really focus down the Larvosk in this situation. It does feel like you'd be better off hitting the workers, but, you know, it is a thing. Playing some more mines, trying to have some more antics. Is it going to be 3 Fulk Volt again versus Hydrith? That's what I want to know, because I don't know. I guess eventually you could get to a point where you can kill Hydras with Vultures once you get to a critical enough mass. We are going to see double Ovalith here. So it looks like HitEmUp is planning the Aziracore drop again. That's what it would look like to me. We're getting more Vultures rallying on in. Interesting. Yeah, he's definitely getting to a point where he's got a deadly Hydra Ball. And we're seeing the Vultures try to continue doing some damage there, but another one arrives. It's only 3 right now. He's not at critical mass. He's making 3 more. Yeah, we need these Vultures to be in higher quantity for them to do too much. And it does feel like at this point, even though TopRamen has a narrow worker advantage, which he might be able to consolidate here. Oh, he picked the wrong target. He might have been able to get a little bit further ahead. Temporarily. As 3 more Vultures swing on in, but the Aziracore here is going to really reduce how powerful all this is, I think. He probably scouted the second Ovalith in his travels, so that might equip him to deal with the inevitable Aziracore drop. You can see Ramen trying that style. It's much more easily foiled by A, the Surkith, and B, Hydrith. So it's a bit very different in that respect. Now, it's just going to be 2 Aziracores dropped out from the Ovalith, but if Ramen continues to build nothing but... Oh my god, is he double expanding again? He looks like he's thinking about it. I don't know. Oh my god. It has to be all or nothing for Ramen. It's either I make 3 Fulk and nothing but military units, or I make a ridiculous number of, you know, I make a ridiculous number of other things. I make a ridiculous number of expansions. I don't know. It looks like we're seeing some... We're seeing the groundwork laid for very fast games. That's what I'm gathering so far. I do like his kiting of the Aziracores there. You can see now HitEmUp is kind of setting up. We saw this on Dyadic Shore. It was game 2 of the previous cast between these two players that we saw this kind of antic happen where the front line was hit at the same time as the drop hit. And back behind it, because he went for double ministry, he doesn't have any military units, right? He's got 3 Cyclops, which are not what you want versus this army, and also not what you want versus the drop, because you're going to splash your own units. So now, all of a sudden, the Zerg units are in his base, in his natural, in his face. Now there's 2 worker harvesters or harassers heckling there. Yeah, I think I don't know how you can really withstand this particular assault. He's got more Cyclops coming, but those almost needed to be Goliaths at this point. He's used workers to try to kill the Aziracores. They take forever to die, and yeah, just going to double commit on that, and that is going to be the double tap. All right, HitEmUp is up 4-0. There are 4 more games to go, and they've been pretty fast so far, so I say we go straight into Game 5 and see what's up next. All right, we've got TopRamen in the bottom right as Platinum, Terran, and HitEmUp in the bottom left as... Ooh. This is either Salmon or Peach. I'm going to say... Wait, do we have a Salmon? I thought we did. No, we have a Coral. Is it Coral Zerg? Hell yeah, I'm glad I took the moment to think of if it was Salmon or Coral. All right, he's in the bottom left. This is Aeon Flux, a map by Doglived. Now, I believe this is the most up-to-date version of the map. I mean, the replay saved, so there's that. It didn't always. And yeah, we'll see about this map. We'll see how this one ended up working out. Now, it looks like there is going to be some scouting here. It is a 4-spot map that's going to make things a bit different. Is HitEmUp going to magically scout his opponent first? No. Oh, he's expanding. Okay, never mind. He's hatch firsting. I mean, it's a 4-spot map. It kind of makes sense. Now, the architecture of this map is very non-standard, right? Which isn't necessarily a bad thing. I'm just going to point that out. We do have a 3rd base here that you can take, you'd think, relatively easily. Your ramp over here is very wide and bitty tiled, which at this point is a Doglive tile, obviously. Doggy tiled. Now, your ramp is quite wide, and you have the same kind of thing going on over here. Same tile and everything. And yeah, aside from that, you do have those 2 extra expansions you can take. natural, and third, all in the same sort of plateau, but you are on the low ground, which is interesting. It's also kind of worth pointing out here that the low ground expansive area here that you have is going to be very, I would say, vulnerable to drops in a horizontal spawn situation. Maybe a little bit less so in vertical. So we know TopRamen likes his Cyclops drops. If the game lasts long enough for him to throw a star pad down, we could indeed see something like that take shape. Hope you guys have been enjoying Cosmonarchy so far. Obviously, these games are, so far, I don't think that the games themselves are one-sided, but the outcomes are. So a layperson will look at the situation that we have here when it comes to the fact that it's 4-0 and think, oh, HitEmUp's crushing. And some of the games he's crushing. But I do think that the first game that we saw on Apollo and that third game on Dyadic Shore, or no, it was Germination, rather. The third game on Germination, those could have been very, very different. Especially, I think, Germination. Germination was one change up. You change one thing and the game's over. Whereas I think you might need a few things for Ramen to go Ramen's way instead of HitEmUp's way elsewhere at various points. So I do like his scouting style here on Aeon Flux. He is going to go ahead and confirm nothing in the bottom or top left because he's scouting with his Mason, and he scouted top right with his first Vulture. So he sent his second Vulture, and here he's going to see the Kagrant. He's going to see the fact that the Circuit is already up is probably going to fill him with some dismay. But does this invoke a Palladium for a Phalanx push, right? He also saw Quaz, so he knows, okay, you've got your fast Expo, but I also know that you don't have the same kind of powerful units, right? Do we get a third Falk, which it does look like we're going to get, and then maybe more gas harvesting so we can tech into something else? I also have noticed people have totally left behind the Blackjack now since it was changed. I actually don't think it's very weak. I think it's pretty strong still, but we'll see. We'll see if maybe Zerg's just gonna make Bactylisks anyway, and then you're fucked. So who knows? Who knows? But it might be an interesting pivot point there. Maybe we slightly unnerf them. That was a suggestion from HitEmUp earlier. Now, he does have a lot of Vultures here, which means he is actually going to break that one. That's very interesting. It looks like there was an unfortunate cancel there. I don't know what that was about. And now we're kind of spreading the damage out here from the Vultures, which is not going to be successful at killing these Kagrants. It was interesting. He had a pretty good number. Oh, he's canceling them for a Larvosk. I see. He feels like he's held the pressure. He's got 2 more Vultures to deal with pretty soon. It looks like we lost 2 already, and obviously there's some wounded ones as well. But now the double circuit does make this a little bit harder to deal with. I love that. So we do get cliff advantage, +1 weapon range compared to what you normally get when you're shooting down a cliff at a unit below you. Obviously, if you're double stacking the height differences, like if this unit was able, if there was a unit here that was able to attack down here, then that would give you +2 weapon range. Probably like a sieged phalanx or something. So we have 1 ministry coming down. We do have the 2 mines for safety, just in case. We've got a couple Cyclops coming. Here comes the fleet of Vultures as they dive past. They will be able to snipe that particular circuit, and now they're going after the worker count. There's not really that many workers. It looks like only a couple of Zets here as well. This is actually quite problematic for HitEmUp. He is going to have to deal with this. He will lose 1 Kagrant. The other one should be focused down as well, just so that there's 1 less static defense to deal with. Nice mine hit as well. Definitely going to help out. Now, the Vultures are kind of stuck dealing with that static defense structure. Finally, they'll clear it, but now I think the Quaz count is high enough that they will be able to overwhelm the Vulture positions here, especially since there's not that many else coming. Yeah, the Cyclops coming in now, so they're much slower. They've kind of opened the door, maybe you could say, but I don't think so. I think the Vultures needed to stay alive and clear those circuits a bit higher in order to get more value out. You can see here, HitEmUp, desperate for information, is going to go ahead and see what he can do about that. But his Zeths are held at an arm's length by the Cyclops and the mines. We're going to have 9 Cyclops. I don't actually think... Oh yeah, Ramen definitely can't fight the circuit with just 3. He's got more coming in, but they're on A move, or M move. They're on move instead of attack. So that is definitely going to hit him. Yeah, that's going to be... Basically, all of the pressure that he's got, I feel like has not disintegrated, but it's fallen down a little bit, right? And with all of the extra static defense that HitEmUp was able to get through regressing the circuit into the Kagrant, right? It does make a pretty big difference. It does mean that when you're looking at that, yes, you have to use a worker to make the static defense structure, but if you don't clear the Kagrant entirely, oh, I love this little, I mean, I don't love the visuals, but I love the idea of that little valley there, that little tiny ramp, little ridge that you can use. All right, well, the Cyclops containment is happening, but it does still feel to me like this is not ideal. Yeah, I'm looking at it, and the extra static defense that he got, the value from that, means that he can make more workers behind it because he doesn't need to rely on military, and he is just going straight into tier 2. So this is a very silly game. This is a... You know, I see why HitEmUp would call this a silly game. He did say in the replay submission that this is a very silly game. He is going mass circuit into tier 2 off of the 2 base, the fast expo, and... with no add-on yet, now we've got the Palladium coming. We do have some anti-air as well, which is a good sixth sense there from Ramen, but he is not really going to be able to do too much here versus what the static defense lineup that he's got here. He's splashing down some of them, surprisingly, but he's also pretty close to that side area where some of the quads were able to help DPS things down, and I mean, he's going to clear this last circuit as the other ones remorph, right? So, not really ideal. Not really ideal. Playing tower defense. He killed the Larvosk at least. That was something. But yeah, you can tell that the Palladium was there for the Phalanxes. It just came very late. It was after the expansion instead of before. I did think that maybe when you see this kind of thing, you want to try to punish it very, very fast. And so that's either Star Pad or Palladium, depending on where you want to put your gas. He puts it for a third Fulcrum. Now we're getting ridiculous amounts of extra stuff happening here as so the lake is coming, and that does mean that we're going to see a bunch of Lyrilisks, almost certainly. Not only that, but we are also seeing the extra anti-drop static defense in the main. It is just a 2-base. Lyrilisk timing, very, very fast. He didn't spend a lick of gas on anything other than the Larvosk in the early stages of the game. And he's got a nice line of 9 circuits. Plus, of course, all the anti-drop here as he's adding an Alcag. Okay. So you want something in addition to the Lyrilisks. I think he could just crush face with Lyrilisks, personally. His opponent doesn't have quite that much. Maybe if there was a lot of Goliaths here, they could kind of go toe-to-toe with the Lyrilisks a little bit. If there's like Goliath Phalanx or something like that. Maybe Goliath Madrigal. But you'd probably need some sustain because you can't really fight against that tier 2 stuff too highly, too quickly, too easily. Oh no, 2 of my future Lyrilisks just died. Making a lot of Zethicors as well. That's going to be quick maths 34 Zeths, I think. So definitely a lot of Zethicors. When you see the number for Zeths, you multiply it. Now the one Phalanx is going to need a lot of time to get through all these circuits, my man. He is waypointing another one over, and a third one is in production. But I think at this point, HitEmUp can pretty easily just be like, yeah, whatever, and be fine with it, He's not really under too much duress. He's just going to remorph it as well if it doesn't get focused down. Yeah, I don't think so, buddy. Let's see the second Phalanx come on down. Ooh, killed by static defense. Yeah, the problem is they don't focus fire the same target, right? So it's really silly. He's actually helping him out. He's opening him up a way out. Now the Almacs are out. The Lyrilisk just made itself known. Oh no, it's been mined. Wait, hit the Lyrilisk. That's his only Lyrilisk, wink. It might actually be his only Lyrilisk. Hold on. Wait, I think it is. No, he's got a couple others. He's got a couple of mines here. It could use some more coverage. He has some fresh vultures as well. Right now, he's just kind of letting HitEmUp slowly set up for a very aggressive move. HitEmUp's actually waiting for these circuits to die. Ooh, sniped the egg. Well, you can't allow the hatch to die, surely. I mean, you could. It would be a possibility. Oh, boy. Whoa! He's gone nuts! He's trying to hit the unit on the high ground. That's a funny bug. All right, here comes the explosive. Ooh, that was a nice hit. Oh, that was not a nice hit. Oh, dear. Oh, golly. Oh, jeez. This is what we signed up for, boys. This is what we signed up for. The Trojan came in, but there's nothing for it to do. He's just going to... Oh! He tried to be cheeky. All right, well... Honestly, HitEmUp doesn't have as many units as I thought he would. I say that as he's got 75 units to the 8 of Ramen. He doesn't have as many as I thought he would. I thought he'd have more. Hey, this geyser needs a third worker for full efficiency. Dog lived out here with the Gigabrain strats. Just move the geyser further away on map starts. True. I should do that. It's Mass Goliath time for Ramen as he desperately tries to hold on to things. He did make 4 star pads. He is making 4 wraiths. I don't know if the wraiths are going to help him out too much. We do have 6 Almaxilisks, which are spotted here as the vultures attempt to desperately put down some mines to slow the force of the grounds. Now, the one wraith is going to go ahead and heckle this worker, but we're going to get some expanding. There's some expanding happening as the containment is broken. Part of that containment, most of that containment, he contained himself. Can you believe that? I can't believe a single wraith is heckling him. He has no anti-air defense. He's making a Vigorlisk. He has no anti-air units in his main. He's just going to let this one wraith have a fun time. Now he's pulling his whole army back. Fuck that Wraith. These games are silly. I didn't think it was too silly at the beginning, but it really got deranged. Now, this is buying time for Ramen to maybe erect some kind of defense. I mean, Almaxilisks do get brought down by the Goliaths, so there is that. He's got a lot of them. If you can deal with the Almax, there's not that much on the armor pen side, right? Now, the Lyrilusk does do 2x6, and now the Wraiths are hitting the backline. This is starting to be a bit more problematic, as Ramen actually has a worker advantage, if you can believe it. Oh no, the Evigs can't get out. Oh, he's trying to build an anchor on location. If he had an Atlas, he'd just build a Sentinel there. That's pretty cheeky as well. Man, HitEmUp is really just he's on the struggle bus. He is on the struggle bus. He's now lost a lot. He has been waypointing back and forth. He's not made any anti-air unit. He could just make Quas. He could just make Quas. Oh no, the Almax are dying to the Goliaths. Is this the game that Ramen wins? Dude, no way. What happened to HitEmUp? Drunk him up. Booze him up. Misclick him up. The Goliaths are standing very, very tall here. There's only 2 Almax left. And the Phalanxes have helped to crush all the front line on the ground. Obviously, all the Evigs couldn't even get to the fight. We got Wraiths everywhere. The pivot into Wraiths. Now the Quads are finally out to try to deal with that. We still don't have any Spraits being made, by the way. The workers have been evacuated, or maybe eradicated, from most of these bases. Now we've got an anchor being put down again at the extremities. And the mech line has been reinforced. The Evigs were not successful in crushing that. Could have told you that. Maybe they just didn't. Maybe they didn't even try. Now we got Spraits in the third base at the very least. We do have one mutating in that position. Nothing in the main though. Absolutely nothing. We need more Wraiths out for Ramen. It's his only hope. He's on 3 base eco. He's actually got a much superior economy to his opponent. And he's even going to go ahead and guard this anchor so that he can put some Goliaths in it or something later. He made the Watchdog in the back. Just in case, you know. Oh no! Oh, he's got to decloak it. There we go. All right, it's finally kaput. Nothing mining at the natural or the main. Wow. I can't believe this has happened. This is a silly game. If you thought HitEmUp had a, you know, too much pride or something, fear you not. Let me tell you, he uploaded this game. Oh, I didn't even realize this ramp was here. That's cool. Man, this map is weird. Well, we might see some more games on it. The Evigs are getting shellacked. I guess the game isn't quite over yet, but it does feel like Ramen now has an undeniable advantage. I thought that about HitEmUp though, so I thought he was just going to crush face. He's losing his base to Wraiths. And yeah, that was his last mining base. He did transfer the workers over to the natural at the very least, so. All right. There's a couple of mech units still out here that are going to make it a little bit difficult for HitEmUp to just move across the map. They do passively kind of shoot around the things, but one of the Evigs goes down. There's defensive units over here and mines. I think Ramen is maybe respecting this push a little bit too much. It doesn't have that much to it. Ramen's got a lot of money, by the way. And HitEmUp is now thinking about what he's going to make next. He's making more Almaxilisks. Versus the Wraith stack and the Goliaths, I don't know that that's going to be the most useful thing. And yeah, back down to 2 bases where we all began. There's 8 Wraiths. They're not going to be enough to kill what we have over here. So HitEmUp will be able to be just fine in this position. Maybe 1 worker will go down. There you go. Pick 1 on the way out. Yeah, the mech has definitely reconsolidated, and I don't think it needed to back up all the way there. Some Zets are going to clear that position. Vultures are scouting around for other bases. What a deranged game. We got plenty of Phalanxes coming out. And, okay, Atlas coming down, of course, at the 3rd base. That's where Nebulon wants it. Ministry to turn into a planetary fortress, because that's a thing in this game. No, I don't know why else it would be put over here, but he's clearly trying to earmark it for the 3 o'clock. We are going to get some Vultures to lay some mines, but not at the right spot, and the Zets are going to come in and heckle him. Of course, the Evigs are just going to get cleared pretty unceremoniously here, but, you know, the Zets might get a little bit of eco damage done here. It doesn't really matter that much because, again, as soon as the mech makes the decision to move out... Was there another Wraith over there? Oh, yeah, the Wraiths were continuing to heckle stuff. There's still no anti-air defense in the main base. I'm not sure that he's noticed that. Now the battle workers are engaged. That freshly made Ministry is definitely going to be heckled, probably to death, because I don't think that TopRamen is noticing it. But, yeah, the A move has been occurred, and we are making some Vorvs. We are making some Almax. The Goliaths are... Oh, never mind. I thought there was only these Goliaths here. The anti-air is plenty. There's plenty of it. And right now they're mostly dealing with the Vorvs as they come out, but the Almax are not going to be enough to clear this. Definitely needs more than that. There's way more reinforcements and way more resources of mech army here than there are of the Zets and the Almax. It's not a bad comp, especially with the friendly fire of the phalanxes, but as they unsiege, it becomes a lot less likely that the Zets are going to be too efficient. You know, the Goliaths have mostly been faltered. This could extend the game even more. Remember, that Ministry did end up going down. There's still some Zets over there that need to be cleaned up. I can't quite tell. Okay, never mind. HitEmUp just leaves. I was going to say he actually would have been able to clean that up, but the phalanx count was so high that he could have just been A-moved, and he had no other bases, and he didn't really do enough eco damage to TopRamen. So Ramen does end up scoring at the end of the video here. Very nice there. We will be back with another part to this banger of a set of games between TopRamen and HitEmUp for the figure out if TVZ is playable for the T, or if it's just going to be more insanity. So join me then. Stay subscribed. If you're not subscribed, then what the hell are you doing? And we'll see you very soon.